the original Hitcher, it's sort of an enigma because when it first came out into the theaters, like it messed with people. You know, like
it's kind of take no prisoners, man.
Well, I remember like Ebert, Roger Ebert, and I can't believe this, but he actually, Johnny Carson was around when I did the Hitcher. He actually went on to the Carson show and spent his 10-minute segment on why films like The Hitcher should not be made.
You know you've done something right when that happens. Honestly.
You know, that lost some sleep, right? I was like,
it's like, yes!
That worked. That worked. But oddly enough, you know, they don't make sequels and they don't remake bad movies. And The Hitcher, if you watch it today, even though it was made in like '86, it's not a dated movie. It's a very it's a well done movie, and that's one of my proudest achievements. You know, that was considered a low budget movie at the time. We made it for $6 million. It probably made, you know, 20 million in the box office. So it was successful, but it wasn't a blockbuster by any means. However, most film fans have a copy of The Hitcher in their collection, and over the years, it's freaked a lot of people out.
Well, it's almost Hitchcockian in its construct, and I think one of the reasons, again, getting back to, you know, one of the reasons it works is, I think, again, because of your physicality, because you make such an ideal focal point, you know, every man, you know, that's in the center of this action. And it's also really kind of telling of your skills as an actor that you were like, what, 18 when you did this? And you were able to, how were you kind of able to go to those places, you know, and articulate these experiences?
Well, Dr. Howell helped me.
I don't doubt it. Why, okay, I take back the question. That pretty much covers it.
I was just a kid, just in the moment, reacting to what was going on, you know. I knew that I was surrounded by great actors. It was my first movie that I knew I was surrounded by award-nominated and award-winning people. Jeffrey DeMunn, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Rutger Hauer, they've all been nominated and have all won awards on many levels of their career, whether it was, you know, Tonys, Emmys, European shit, I don't know. I just know that I was surrounded by a greatness because I watched how they prepped, and I watched, you know, Jennifer Jason Leigh's a method actress. I didn't really know what a method actor was when I was 18 years old. All I knew was that at the hotel, she was still in character all the time, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I didn't realize that that was a technique, you know, so I was exposed to new things at a very young age that had a major effect on me, and I was so grateful to experience that. And you know, our DP on that film was John Seals, who won the Academy Award the following year for shooting a film called Witness. So we had major, unbelievable talent on this piece. So I had a lot of help in that movie. The score, Mark Isham, the score of The Hitcher is amazing, you know. And like I said, I was just one piece in an amazing orchestra. I was surrounded by great talent, and that movie is a very underrated movie.
I would agree with it, and I'm sure everyone here, I mean, you're talking to the perfect audience who would concur with that, absolutely.
The broader part of that question is, like, are you able to sit back and honestly, can you rest kind of with a smirk, knowing that 2 out of your 3 notorious roles, or 4, you know, the huge ones, have been remade, and those kids, you acted circles around them, you know, 20 years ago, because neither Red Dawn nor the Hitcher remake, I feel, you know.
Well, I would say yes until Robert Downey donned the blackface and kicked my ass.
Well,
That pretty much says
That
that.
just cooled my jets. So that's how you play a black guy.
well, I mean, like, does it make you feel a little better about filmmaking that 20 years later, you still had it then, as opposed to maybe how they're doing it now? I don't know if you get that.
Well, you know, as a young actor, man, I had it in moments and I lost it in moments. You know, you know, acting is not, it's never something, you know, I'll probably just wreck my career by saying this. Right now is the first time in my life that I feel like I really know what I'm doing. I feel like I can take something and kick its ass for you no matter what. You know, when I was 18 or 19, I read a Rolling Stone interview with Jack Nicholson on it. And he said, you know, in the interview, oh, it takes 25 years before you know what you're doing as an actor. And as a young actor, I was like, what do you know, man? And you know, I went on to be horrible in a lot of things. And now I know that I can do nothing in a scene. And when I say I can do nothing, it will be more powerful than if I'm trying to do something in a scene. When you're a kid, you want to do something in a scene all the time. So what you get is somebody that's trying hard, and a lot of green actors and a lot of young actors suffer from the same thing, which is just wanting to be good, wanting to be liked, wanting to be appreciated in their work. And you watch it, and what makes them not good is them wanting to be something. When you see a really good actor, like a Robert Duvall or Nicholson, or you know, what I'm trying to achieve now is just finding that gear where I'm not wanting to do shit. I'm just gonna kick your ass and allow the moment to come to me instead of chasing the moment. When you go into a scene and you're trying to make something happen, and then you watch that scene, you see a guy trying to make something happen. But if you're comfortable enough to not care if something happens in this scene, and you let it come to you, and it may not come to you in that scene, it may come to you in another scene. But it only takes one really great scene in a movie to be great in a movie. But it only takes one bad scene in a movie to be bad in a movie. So you have to be patient, and it's hard to, I'm sure a lot of you are going, what the hell is he talking about right now? But it's a very important thing that I'm saying right now. You can wreck a movie by wanting to be good. But you can't really wreck a movie by doing nothing, you know, that Kevin Costner style of acting, which isn't my favorite. But he'll go through an entire movie and won't have any good scenes. But he won't have a bad scene.
It's a flat line. It's like a flat line on a medical heart monitor, you know. Nothing there. There's no there.
Does that make any sense at all?
Completely and totally. Did you have a question back there?
Yeah.
Oh shit! This is gonna be all over the internet.
Oh, good God.
Sorry, Kevin Costner.
No,
I'm a huge fan.
He won't
You
see
can
it.
kill Dances with Wolves Part 2
He
right
won't see
now.
it. He won't see it. He won't see it. Okay. So
Famous last words.
you were recently in the Spider-Man.
Tell me Howell goes up to Crypticon and never went again.
You heard it here first.
So you're recently in the Spider-Man reboot. Do you think if they had the technology that they do now and the popularity of the Marvel movies that they do now, maybe in the 80s, that maybe you could have been Spider-Man? Because you have it all. You have like the comedic, and you have the stunt background, and
Well, you know, man, that's a very valid question. I probably would have been the Tobey Maguire of the 80s in Spider-Man, you know. I would have loved to have had that opportunity. But, you know, I made different choices. You know, I had a weird thing go down. You know, I went off when I was 19 years old, and I did a movie with Franco Zeffirelli called The Young Tuscanini.
Opposite Liz Taylor.
Elizabeth Taylor was my co-star. I spent a year in Italy doing this movie. It was supposed to be, you know, an Academy Award blockbuster. And the movie went into litigation, sat in a courtroom for 3 or 4 years, and ended up never coming out. That didn't help my career at all. 1 or 2 of those, and you know, they're looking for a new guy to wear the Spider-Man outfit, you know. You know, Soul Man, for example. Soul Man was a very controversial movie. It tends to take more of a backlash today than it did in the 80s when we made it. Whenever you take a white guy and you put blackface on him, you are fucking doomed.
yeah.
But that movie has some genuine heart and soul. That movie is an anti-racism movie. It pokes fun at racism, but a lot of people like to bash that movie, whether they've seen it or not. If you have seen the movie, it's genuinely a funny movie, and it's sort of a it was a dangerous decision for me to take that movie. Would I do it today? Hell no. But I don't regret that I did that movie. But there's, people tend to think today, oh, that was when his career went off kilter in the 80s. My career sort of took a different phase when this movie Tuscanini didn't come out. And it cost a lot of money, and I was the main character. I wasn't the reason why it didn't come out. The producers bankrupted the company and put it into litigation. There was nothing they could do about it. When I turned 20, I'd done enough work that was substantial. I'd done The Hitcher, Secret Admirer was a great movie of the 80s.
I'm a big fan of it. It's just a classic kind of romantic comedy.
Those were all me playing different parts of myself. When you're a teenager and you're playing a teenager coming of age, and you are a teenager coming of age, it's not a big step, Yeah. But when you get into your early 20s and your mid 20s, and you start to not know who you are anymore, and you're becoming a man, you're no longer a boy, there aren't a lot of roles for that. And that's when most child actors quit.
Yeah.
And that's when I just kept plodding along. And I ended up doing, a lot of shit that I should have done. But, as Michael Caine said, I've done a lot of crap. I made a lot of money. Now I don't have to do crap anymore. That's kind of how I feel. I'm still an actor. I'm not a restaurateur, I'm an actor. And,
Right on.
I would like to have Johnny Depp's career, but I have Tommy Howell's career, and I'm good with that.
Right on.